Hello, I'm EG, and this is Crocheting with EG, and in this video, I thought I'd just do something kind of fun. Remember these dolls in the, the ugly, adorable dolls that I mentioned in my video where I was showing everything else that I crocheted in my first year of crocheting, and I showed that I crocheted, it's the whole story. You can watch the video. But I made little scarves to match these dolls, but I only did it for these first two. Sorry, I'm holding you by your head. No, but I made them for these first two, but I didn't make them for their little preemie brother, and then their little dolls that I found. And I sort of jokingly said that I didn't want to make them any scarves because they're little and they may accidentally strangle themselves with them. But no, I just really haven't made any scarves for them yet, and I don't need to. But like this is like the kind of ridiculous creative things that we do in our lives. I come up with little stories or whatever of all these little dolls and stuff, and this is just like one thing, and this isn't even like that. Some people were saying that like the voices I did were kind of funny, or like the little characters, and like I'll come up with little funny stories with these dolls and stuff, but like this is even the voices that I gave these little dolls were sort of half-assed. There's even bigger characters that I do in my weird creative life, but so, and then this is the little bench that I got at Goodwill for them all to sit on, and it has a heart in the back because they're a little family all together, and so I have them displayed on this little bench or whatever. And so I do want to make scarves from. Oh, and then they have their little donkey thing, that little toy thing with them too. So I thought I would make little scarves for them or whatever. And then what I'll do is I'll add a little bonus to this. Like the stitch that I used to make these scarves is I call it the dash moss. This isn't the stitch that I came up with. The stitch that I came up with is really unique. Or I feel like it is, because it incorporates my 5/7, the whole EG thing and all that. But like this isn't the EG stitch. This is what I did was I just took the moss stitch and I just kind of like sort of applied math to it really, and kind of like expanded it, and it's sort of like an extended version of the moss stitch. This is probably something it's probably called extended moss stitch or like whatever. But all I did was I was thinking if you do this a number of chains or whatever, and then you do this number in between and this number at the end, maybe what would it do, or like how would it change the stitch if you like increased it? And so I did like versions of it of the moss stitch. So these are just like extended versions of the moss stitch, but what I call it is the dash moss, because if you look in the little holes, I don't know if I can do this, if you look like in the spaces, they almost look like little dashes, like these longer lines, because you chain two in between. If you know what the moss stitch or the linen stitch is another name for it. So if you know the moss stitch, then you may want to learn this. It's probably already out there, but like back then when I first started to crochet, I was thinking, oh my god, I just changed a few things and it actually worked up and everything. Like this. This is just like an extended version of the moss stitch, but I did a tutorial and everything, and it got a couple clicks or whatever the first time I was on YouTube. But I do have tutorials about this, how to do this, and so what I thought I would do is I'm gonna make that's what I used to make these scarves or whatever. What I thought I would do is like, why am I always like every time I have something in my hand, I'm like always like doing this or like feeling it and touching it, or like when I like I'm like massaging the skeins of yarn or whatever and touching it and like fixing the label and like wrapping it around. Like I'm always like, I don't know, I'm fidgety, I guess. But the why can't I just say like this and then just stop? I don't know. I guess I'm like a fidgety person. But what I thought I would do is I'm gonna make them scarves in that moss stitch, and because I have the tutorial already, it's not as good as it probably would be if I made it nowadays. But nowadays, and God, I really feel like I'm getting old. Like this was literally like last year, and now I'm thinking of last year, or compared to last year, like today is like, or nowadays, unlike in the olden days, last year. God, I really feel like I'm getting old. So what I thought I would do is just take those tutorials instead of like redoing it or whatever, because you can see how the stitch is done. What I thought I would do is just take like parts of the tutorial and put it at the end of this video if you're interested in that. And so, because I already have the footage and stuff. And what I'll do is I'll put little timestamps or whatever on the screen So that because what I did the last time I was on YouTube, I flipped the video because I'm right-handed, and I flipped the video so that people that are left-handed can do it, and without trying to figure it out backwards. And so I do have it flipped too. So what I'll do is I'll put timestamps in this video and show like where you can click to see the right-handed version and where you can click to see the left-handed version. And at the end, after both of the two tutorial parts, I'll show like the end result of doing the scarves or whatever. But so let me what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to figure out, like, because I tried to choose yarns with these dolls that kind of match their outfit, and it's not going to be perfect or close. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but it's pretty close. And so what I thought I would do is take these dolls over to my wall and try to figure out the yarns that I'm going to use on camera, and then get started on making the little scarves. So I'll take these three over there, and I don't think the donkey needs its own. It has fur, so it doesn't need its own. It is a skinny, bony thing. It may need a scarf one day. God, don't give me ideas, brain. Now I'm like talking to my brain like it's its own entity. But God, now I'm gonna obsessively think like maybe I should make one for the freaking donkey. Oh my God. Let me just take these over there. Let me start with the dolls or whatever, like the human dolls, and then I can get to the freaking donkey. Hang on. Okay, I'll start with the little preemie brother. And so, like what I did before with the other ones, I just kind of like, that one kind of matches a little bit. I just kind of went along and just sort of like paired it up with some of these variegated colors. That one, oh no, that one's actually really good. Has the blue and, it has the orange and the yellow. Okay, this one's good for that one. What is this colorway? I love this yarn. I know. The label's coming off. God. Amber Honey. Okay, I'll use that color for this doll. Okay, and then there's this one. Like blue and white, and then her skin color. No, it's more like a teal. Let's see. No. Okay, maybe these. That's that skein that I use for my teddy bear sweater. Let me pull this out. That's a possibility. That's pretty good because it has like the brown, like her skin tone, and then like some light blue and some white. Maybe that would be good. Again, these aren't going to be a perfect match or whatever. It's just like doll scarves. Why am I even worrying about like whether they match or not? I think that's probably the closest one on this wall. What is that one? No, it has like gray in it. Yeah, that's probably the closest one. Let me see. And then this one, like a burgundy color in it. No, it's red. Let's see. No, it has blue in it. Oh, her dress kind of has blue in it too. Maybe this one. And that one doesn't have burgundy in it. This one right here, maybe. Or that one. Now there is a little bit of like a tealish blue in this, and there is some in her dress. Let me get this one out. That one might be better. I love this yarn, Dakota. Let me see. That might be good. It's close enough. Matches her skin, and has a little hint of blue in it, and the burgundy might be good. What is that one? No, that has like a sort of a greenish color in it. That might be good. Okay, so these are the yarns that I picked. I think that matches pretty good. I wish this had a little bit of white in it, but it doesn't matter. It just has to kind of match. And then this one with this doll, I think that's, pretty nice. And then this one with this one matches like really good. I do love that color combination. So, all right. So now I just need to make the scarves, and maybe one for his big tooth butt. Hang on, or ass, jackass. I guess God, I guess I want to make a scarf for this little thing too. God, how stupid. I'm just such a ridiculous person. Let's see. No. Through the camera, it looks like he's been drinking Kool-Aid. You know, the redness on his mouth. I don't know. He doesn't really. Wait a minute. That's kind of nice. It has like a little bit of a brownish orange and sort of a darkness that kind of matches its tail or whatever. It doesn't have to match exactly. Like maybe this donkey doesn't have to just wear something that matches him. Maybe he likes really colorful things. He is grinning like a big goofball. Maybe he's like really happy. Oh, wants like something really colorful and pretty or whatever. I don't know. But this one kind of matches a little bit. I like that one. No. What's that one? That one's kind of nice too. Oh no, it has like some teal or whatever in it. I think that one is what I used for the... No, I used a different one. That one's kind of nice too. Clear up. I don't know. That one's kind of nice, but I sort of like this one. It's a little bit different. And I haven't worked this out. This is one I got in a dial-out clearance, I think. I might pick that one, even though... Yeah, it matches its teeth. The yellowy white in it. So I'll use this one. I love this yarn print and the color Beret Day. So that's what I'll use for the frickin' doggy. God, how stupid. Yeah, I'll use that one. See, this is the one I used for this doll, and the other one just wouldn't match it too much, and he wants to stand out from the donkey. So those are the ones I'm gonna pick and use. Okay, I started on little preemies. Some of these do have names, but I don't want to say what they are because my mom, she named them after some people that she knew from her childhood, and so I don't want to say their names, but some of them actually do have names. But so I started this one, and so when you learn the tutorial, I mean, when you learn the stitch or whatever, it's what I did to make this, and I feel like it's going to be a little too wide, but it doesn't matter. They can have like a big bulky scarf. See how I make like a little creative excuses for things, and make up little stories in my head. For these, I don't know if I can make one that's like going to be really skinny or whatever, so they may just have like a nice bulky one, but I don't know. Because you have to, what I did was I chained 9, and so it's like the 3 and then the 6 on the end when you learn the stitch, and so it's like 2 stitches per row. So I don't know if I could do like just 1 stitch per row. In fact, let me try to do that now. I don't think it'll work that way. I gotta try to do it. What I wish I kind of knew how to do this, but like while the tutorial is going, but then again, I don't want to block the tutorial. It'd be nice to like film myself just not that you need to see me do it, but film myself doing this, and then have it like in a little box on the corner of the screen, like while you're watching the tutorial or whatever, and you could see me like crocheting the little thing. I don't know. I probably won't do that, but yeah, I'm trying to do this. Just do like the add 6 at the end. 5, 6. And maybe that'll work. And 1, 2, 3, and then there's only one area to go in. Let me see. 2, 3. Oh no, that'll work. Oh, okay. That's what I'll do. I'll make theirs extra small since they're small. I'll make his just like the regular size because he's a preemie, but that doesn't mean he's not gonna grow into a normal size boy. But whatever. So and then for the little tiny ones, what I did was I just instead of again once you learn the this will make sense once you learn the stitch. Instead of doing like in increments of 3 plus 6 at the end, I'm just gonna do the plus 6. So I'm gonna do like chain 6. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'm just going to go into the very like, you know, go into the 6th one like normal, but then I'm already at the end, so then I'll just chain 3 and then, you know, turn, and then I'll just do like 1 stitch in every row, and then just like make a little skinny one or whatever. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna and I'm not going to film myself doing that, because I don't even know how long this tutorial is or how long it's going to take me to do this. But what I'll do is I'll show my the scarves at the end or whatever. If you like want to skip past through the tutorial after you're done with it, you'll have to skip through like either the left or the right anyway, depending on what your dominant hand is, and then you'll get to see like the end result at the very end of this video. And so enjoy the tutorial or whatever, and doing the dash moss or extended moss stitch, whatever it is, and then I'll see you back at the end. Hello, EG here. This is going to be a simple, straightforward tutorial of the dash moss stitch. Okay, I'll start off with a slip knot. So put a slip knot on your hook, and you chain in increments of 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Zoom in a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, etc. And you go into the 6th chain from the hook. So you don't count this one, and this would be your first one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you go into the 6th chain from the hook. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right there. And you single crochet, and then you chain 2. And then from here you go into the 3rd one. So not this first one, not the 2nd one, but the 3rd one. And you single crochet, and then chain 2. So 1, 2, 3, go into the 3rd one, single crochet, chain 2. And then when you get near the end, you should have 3 chains left. 1, 2, 3. You go into the last one, single crochet, and then chain 3. You chain 2 between the stitches, and you chain 3 on the end. And then you turn your work. And you go into, not into the space in on the single crochet. There are these 2 lines, those are the single crochets. You go into these big open spaces right in between the stitches, into your chain space. So you do a single crochet into this first hole, not this one right here. See, that's your single crochet, that's a single crochet. You go into this first hole right here. Single crochet, chain 2. Go into this space right here, not in between these. Just see the 2 lines right there, and the 2 lines right there. You go in between. Single crochet, and chain 2. Into the chain space here, single crochet, chain 2. And then here, there's a single crochet here, and then there's these 6 chains on the end. Make sure you go in between the single crochet and the six chains right here, into this space right here. Don't forget the ones on the end. You do single crochet, chain 3, because you're at the end of a row. You turn your work, and that's the repeat row. You just do that all the way down. So you don't go into this space, into this single crochet right here, and there's a single crochet right here. You go into this big open space right there, and you do a single crochet, chain 2, into this space, single crochet, chain 2, chain space right here, single crochet, chain 2, and then here on the end there's the single crochet right here, and then there's the chains over here go into this space right here on the very end. Don't forget those. And you do the single crochet, chain 3, because you're at the end, and turn, and you just repeat that over and over again. So that's the dash moss stitch, but it's based on the moss stitch, and it's just a really it's a looser one, and I call it the dash because number one, you can dash through this really quickly, but also the holes just kind of remind me of little dashes in between here. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you enjoy doing this dash moss stitch, or whatever I'm going to call it, or whatever it's actually called, and thank you for watching. Hello, EG here. This is going to be a simple, straightforward tutorial of the dash moss stitch. Okay, I start off with a slip knot. So put a slip knot on your hook, and you chain in increments of 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Zoom in a little bit. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, etc. And you go into the 6th chain from the hook. So you don't count this one, and this would be your first one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you go into the 6th chain from the hook. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right there. And you single crochet, and then you chain 2, and then from here you go into the 3rd one. So not this first one, not the 2nd one, but the 3rd one, and you single crochet, and then chain 2. So 1, 2, 3, go into the 3rd one, single crochet, chain 2. And then when you get near the end, you should have 3 chains left. 1, 2, 3. You go into the last one, single crochet, and then chain 3. You chain 2 between the stitches, and you chain 3 on the end. And then you turn your work. And you go into, not into the space in on the single crochet. There are these 2 lines, those are the single crochets. You go into these big open spaces right in between the stitches, into your chain space. So you do a single crochet into this first hole, not this one right here. See, that's your single crochet, that's a single crochet. You go into this first hole right here, single crochet, chain 2. Go into this space right here, not in between these. Just see the 2 lines right there, and the 2 lines right there. You go in between. Single crochet, and chain 2. Into the chain space here, single crochet, chain 2. And then here, there's a single crochet here, and then there's these 6 chains on the end. Make sure you go in between the single crochet and the 6 chains right here, into this space right here. Don't forget the ones on the end. You do single crochet, chain 3, because you're at the end of a row. You turn your work, and that's the repeat row. You just do that all the way down. So you don't go into this space, into this single crochet right here, and there's a single crochet right here. You go into this big open space right there, and you do a single crochet, chain 2. Into this space, single crochet, chain 2. Chain space right here, single crochet, chain 2. And then here on the end, there's a single crochet right here, and then there's the chains over here go into this space right here on the very end. Don't forget those. And you do the single crochet, chain 3, because you're at the end, and turn. And you just repeat that over and over again. So that's the dash moss stitch, but it's based on the moss stitch, and it's just a really it's a looser one. And I call it the dash because number one, you can dash through this really quickly, but also the holes just kind of remind me of little dashes in between here. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you enjoy doing this dash moss stitch, or whatever I'm going to call it, or whatever it's actually called. And thank you for watching. Okay, I finished the 4 scarves, and so this is what they look like. This is so ridiculous. Okay, so this is the one for the preemie, and it turned out really nice. And so it'll match his little outfit. And of course, this matches it's the same size as the bigger ones, because you know he's gonna grow. I know it. No, so this is the what it looks like on him, and it's so ridiculous. Ridiculous that I even made scarves for them when it's so hot. You know, nowadays. Now, why do I keep saying nowadays? Oh my God. Nowadays. Oh my God. Okay, so it's stupid that I made these scarves for them when it's so hot. You know, in the height of summer or whatever. But I think it looks real cute. So, God. My ridiculous life. Okay, so I made his little scarf and put him next to his sister, who's now happy crying because you know. Everybody has scarves now. And then there's this one with the little blue dress, and then the one I made for her. And it's the same yarn as my teddy bear sweater, so that one turned out pretty cute. And just make sure that you watch your baby brothers and sisters and stuff, and make sure that they don't accidentally strangle themselves. You know, make sure that you're always paying attention to them. I'm like talking to the big ones. You know. God. So hopefully they will be, extra careful so that they don't accidentally, snag it on something and, accidentally strangle themselves, because, we don't want anything to happen to them. So this is the one on the blue one, or on the one with the blue dress and stuff. So I think that's really nice. And then this one is the one I made for her. I keep picking them up by their heads. I'm so sorry. God, that's awful. You're never supposed to pick up babies by their heads. So with the one with the burgundy and the little bit of teal and green and white or whatever. So there's that one for her. I didn't get to the much of the burgundy or anything, but it doesn't matter as long as it matches her outfit. And I mean, I didn't get to the teal. I mean, but there's a more teal in her dress than the burgundy. I mean, more burgundy in her dress than the teal. What went through my head is she's one of the ones that's all cross-eyed, and she's just kind of looking at me like, "What's wrong with you?" Oh, I have no idea. But anyway, so this is what this scarf looks like on her. So she has her pretty little scarf, and so they all have their little scarves. And don't forget Donkey or whatever. The donkey doesn't have a name, but. He'd probably be too dumb to remember it anyway, so it doesn't matter. No, I shouldn't say he's dumb. He just looks dumb. And so this is the one I made for the ridiculous little scarf I made for the donkey. And so it's just like a real skinny one, because he needs to eat more or something, because he's just all emaciated and stuff. Use those big teeth and chomp down on something and eat yourself something. God, you're too skinny, for God's sake. So. I feel like this whole video is just so thank God there's a tutorial in this video, because otherwise this would just be like a total throwaway video, because it's just so utterly ridiculous. But anyway, so this is what the little scarf looks like on the donkey, or you know, little jackass, or whatever his name is. So I'll stick that in here. So anyway, Mom's probably gonna laugh her ass off when she sees these, because she just loves little dolls too. So this is our little, you know, ugly doll family, adorable doll family. So with their little scarves and stuff, you know, all prepared for winter or whatever. Oh my God! But you know, they love their scarves and stuff, and they're just gonna wear them as a, you know, it's really like the Dash Moss has sort of an open space, so it's breathable enough where it's not gonna make them too hot in here. So that's what they look like or whatever. Oh God. So anyway, if you actually watched through to this, and you didn't. You not only watched through the tutorial, but you actually wanted to see what the frickin' scarves look like, you know, thank you so much. You have no idea. But anyway, so I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I hope it was okay, and you got to see how to do it. And it's basically just like taking the moss stitch or the linen stitch and sort of applying math to it, and like I actually made it even looser when I made the original bed jacket for my mom, the one that is just like a throw blanket. So you can just kind of increase the numbers in some kind of even way, so that you can make it a looser and looser and looser, and that's what I did with my mom's, you know, like bed jacket thing, the original one, and that's what I did to make this extended version of the moss stitch, or the Dash Moss or whatever. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial or whatever, and this ridiculous video otherwise with all these dolls and stuff. They do look really adorable, like with their little scarves on and stuff, and these have the little bonnets on and stuff, like they're in Little House on the Prairie, and just how ridiculous my life is. It's just insane. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, comment down below, all that kind of stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.